welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Allie, and here we go. So I've posted a couple of videos, like 5, but definitely had space in between a lot of them while I was trying to figure out the best time for me to record. That was the main thing, best time for me to record, because I'm a toddler mom. He's a mama's boy right now. So when he's up, he really wants to be around me. When he's sleeping, he's right next to my office, and so I don't want to be too loud. So just trying to find those times that work best for me, and I was just working on that, and I think I finally kind of have it down that sometimes I'm going to need to have a parent of mine or my husband's watch him, which works good because I'm doing a craft night tonight with some friends, so I have time between after work and then that I can record because grandma and grandpa just picked him right up from daycare. So anyways, relating all that back, I thought it would be good to maybe give you a little bit about me sort of situation, and I wrote out some this or that questions, options, whatever, to maybe help show you what I'm into in regards to books. So paperback or hardback? Paperback for sure for me. I obviously will read a hardback, especially if it's gifted to me. I'm not going to be like, absolutely not. But I do prefer a paperback, and this is one that I just started today. Anyway, I first off get really annoyed with the dust jackets on hardcovers, but I know some people will take them off, but I also don't like the feeling of not having the dust jacket on the hardcover book while I'm reading. I don't know why, just a preference. I also don't like that I just feel like I can be more flexible with my reading. So I just prefer paperbacks. You know, I don't know. I prefer them, and that's my explanation. All right, so another one, sprayed edges or not. I prefer, though I'm holding sprayed edges, I actually prefer to not have sprayed edges. It's beautiful. Like, this one's beautiful. How do you... Anyway, this one's beautiful. Is it showing? There we go. Anyway, I usually am not a big fan of sprayed edges, especially if it's just one color. That bothers me, which I showed you one. Those I don't fully get the reasoning for, but yeah, not a big, if a book has the sprayed edges versus not, I don't know. I guess if it's really pretty, then I would maybe get the sprayed edges, but I wouldn't want to pay extra for it, so maybe I wouldn't. So they can be beautiful, but I prefer just a plain old edge. Plain old edge. All right, another one is Insta-love or slow burn. Now, I'm more of a thriller reader, so I want to say this is why, like thriller and horror. You could still have like a slow burn with that, but not like Insta-love, but I do prefer a fast-paced book. So when it comes to romance, specifically with Insta-love versus slow burn, honestly, like something like in the middle, because Insta-love is like, usually I feel like when it's Insta-love, there's like, it's this bombardment of cheesiness, and I don't like that. I like a rom-com, but there's just a line for me that yeah. But also, slow burn, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, just get to it. If it's gonna be a slow burn, I don't want it to be a super long book. I don't really have a good answer for this one. I guess maybe Insta-love, it really depends, guys. And I made these questions. But here I am getting stuck on them. But now you kind of know why one versus the other. I just prefer a fast-paced book in general. Next one is amateur sleuth versus detective. Detective is actually a huge turnoff for me for books. I prefer an amateur sleuth. Like, crime thrillers, when there's detectives, just aren't for me. They're just not for me. I don't know what it is. I think maybe just because it's so much more structured that I prefer an amateur sleuth. It feels more like what I would see going into something, maybe that's why. But yeah, that one is 100% amateur sleuth. I really am not a big fan of, like, for example, like James Patterson novels, because I'm just not a big fan of the detectives or like former FBI, stuff like that. I just want an amateur sleuth who, I guess it's probably because it's relatable, I guess. Can I say I guess any more times with literally every option? I guess. Series versus standalone is the next one, and I am definitely a standalone girly. Series, I don't like the commitment. I'm very much, I would say, a mood reader. I have to be in the mood to read certain books. That's why a lot of times I'll read a couple books at a time, though I'm trying to not do as many, because last year I feel like I just got stuck, and then sometimes I get in a reading slump. But anyway, I prefer a standalone. I like having my options. I like generally getting an answer, depending on the book. There are some series that I really enjoyed. I really liked the Hunger Games series, the Twisted Tale series, which that one's a little more to what I like, because I guess it's more of like would you call it an anthology? It's different stories, but a similar, like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? It's just a series, but it's not like, I don't have to like do chronological order, I guess. I can kind of, if I'm feeling this one, I can read this one. So again, it comes back to the vibes, I guess. But like I said, I did like Hunger Games, and there we go. I liked Hunger Games. Ebook versus physical is my next one, and I prefer physical. I like being able to hold it. I like being able to do one of the, like, you know, open it, reading it, close it, look, we're done. Or like, oh, how much do I want to read left? This much. And that's easier. I like that more. I feel more progress than just seeing the actual percentage on the ebook, I guess, or like how many pages are left sort of situation. So I prefer physical, and then physical is my top because I also do like audiobooks. They're super handy, especially a full-time worker, mom, all that fun stuff. So I'm able to I do like the convenience of audiobooks. So I like being able to drive and listen to them as long as I'm going somewhere that I know. If I'm following directions, then I can't pay enough attention. I found that out today to the book that I'm reading. So, chores, that's a big one where I like listening to audiobooks. Or if I don't feel like being super productive and like want to play games on my phone or my iPad, but I still want to feel like I'm doing something and not just wasting it, I guess, then I like the audiobook too, to kind of keep my mind going. Because the games that I play are like, I don't know if you would like call them cozy games, or ones that just like, they don't really use your brain much, so I can still focus on the book and have something to do with my hands. Organized bookcase versus place them wherever. I am a place them wherever person, as I don't know if you can tell. There's others places that I have books besides just that, but they all kind of look like that. I will say recently I was looking for a book and it took me forever to find it because I don't have it organized any certain way. I don't have thrillers with thrillers, alphabetical by author or title. I just kind of place them where I want. For a while I was doing like arcs up here and like gifted copies, arcs and gifted copies. And then like this was like my kind of TBR, and then books that I loved down there. And then, but I have so many others. So everything else is kind of just whatever goes wherever. So definitely place them wherever person, though there are times where I wish I did an organized bookcase. The most organized I get is that I do have an app. What is it called? Book Buddy, maybe? Something like that, where I've cataloged all my books so I know what I have, but it doesn't mean I know where they're at. Now I have thought about reorganizing possibly. I saw some videos of people doing like book audits, bookcase audits, and I don't know, it just looks so nice to be able to also be like, this shelf I've read this many, and this shelf I've read this many, to really see the progress, because I do really want to focus more on my physical books, though I am a big library user right now, so I just need to figure out what I really want to do. I just love to read. But yeah, maybe I'll do like a little library haul sometime soon, show you, because I usually have like a stack of library books at a time, because I'll go to the library. A lot of times I'll do it ahead of time. I'll like put them on kind of like a order ahead situation. They'll tell you when they're in, you can go get them and pick them up. Well, I do that, and then I end up looking around the library and finding more books. I think last time I went, I had 2 books on hold and I left with like 10. Pretty sure there's 10 in the other room. So that's me. No shelf control. I hated that I said that. All right, next one, real person or cartoon. I have mixed feelings on this. It depends on what the cartoon looks like, and what the real person looks like. Now, when it comes to romance novels, and it's like the black and white, like just the guy's chest, or the woman and a guy, or a guy and a guy, whatever, just like pushed up against each other. No, I do not like that. I will be honest, prefer, yeah, probably a cartoon, as long as it's done well. And I still wanted to portray that it is, if it's a spicy book, that it is not like teenagers want to read it, you know what I mean? Like, just so people like really know what's in there, I guess. Let's see, because like this, for example, You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. I like this as a cartoon. That would, you know, still be cool as like a person, like a realistic thing. Like here, I like that, it's realistic. But when I don't have a copy because I don't like them when they're like this, but when it's like, I don't know, I just don't like the real thing, unless it's like, I guess, part of a person, or maybe like a house of some sort. I don't know. Do I really know how I feel about this? I just really specifically don't like the ones where it's like the cheesy body someone. If you like that, no judgment, seriously, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Regular paper books versus mass market media books, which I just talked about mass market media books in my last video. I do like a mass market media book. I've got my stack here from when I just talked about them. I like the little size. Now, I had someone comment and say they don't because it makes their hands and fingers cramp up, but I have like, I don't know, not like small hands, but to me this is comfortable. And it's still comfortable to read a big book, but yeah, there's something about just a little one. I think also it's kind of nice too with mass market. You feel like you're like reading a lot when, like, you know, well, some of them have small print. That's pretty small print, but basically I'm trying to tell you that I like to feel like I'm getting a lot done, even if I'm not. And that's the people pleaser in me, I think. All right, sticking to the paperback stuff. The other question, this or that, was, do I like a stiff or a floppy paperback? I was gonna show you a stiff versus floppy paperback, but most of mine are floppy because that's what I prefer. Again, if I'm gifted one, I'm not gonna just not read it because of that. But going quickly with what's by me, I don't have an easily accessible stiff one, which I'll stiff one. Am I like 12? Okay. I just prefer a floppy. I am sorry that I am a 12-year-old child sometimes. Okay. I like when a paperback, I can bend it and feel okay about it. Not feel like I'm like trying to go against the spine. I think that's kind of what it is for me. And last but not least, do I prefer used or new books? And I prefer a used book. I don't think anything's wrong with a new book, and obviously like that's going right to the author. Well, you know what I mean. But I kind of like a pre-loved book. Okay, going too deep into like just me rambling, which I guess is kind of the point of this, so you can kind of feel out who I am and what my videos are gonna seem like or are like. But I do like a used book. I like that I can get a little bit more with my money that way too. Especially if I'm not digging a book, then I don't feel as bad than like if I bought a book for 25 bucks versus, you know, maybe 7 or 8 at like half price books, for example. If I do buy new though, I do try to do indie bookshops. There's a few in my town, so that makes it nice, pretty easy that I have options. But there's, I don't know, something about a used book that I really like. If you want to tell me how you are with the different things that I talked about, that would be awesome. I'd like to learn, you know, what people are into, how they might be similar to me, and if you agree or you're interested in my content, or you want to see my epileptic eye tick thing that I do, that's going to be in every video because I don't know when I do it. What have you. If you would like to follow me, that would be great. If you're not into it, I understand. Not everyone's for everyone. But I would be very appreciative if you did. So feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like, comment, all that fun stuff. So I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.